Today's Giants Now video is presented by 8 Sleep. Go to 8sleep.com/chatsports and get $200 off the pod cover today. Invest in the rest that you deserve. We'll tell you more about 8 Sleep later on in today's video, but let's get into it as we're answering questions from the real ones. And my guy, Lewis Tank Dickens, coming in with a $10 super chat. Shout out to LTD. My man. Says, since the combine showed us the draft is deep with wide receivers and offensive tackles, and we can't trade up, what do you think about going defense at number 6? We can always get Rattler in the 4th, my QB7 over Nix. For me, I just don't think that you can pass on one of the premier offensive players at pick number 6. I look at a guy like Joe Alt. I believe he's going to be an all-pro his rookie year. I think Malik Neighbors has all-pro potential. I think Rome Odunze has all-pro potential. So for me, I don't want to pass up on a potential blue-chip prospect at number 6 to take a defensive player when I don't have any of the defensive players graded out as blue-chip prospects right now. Kind of reminds me of some situation where the Giants trade down with the Bears and they selected Kadarius Toney. They got Toney, and they also got a first-round pick, but they passed up on Micah Parsons and Rashawn Slater. So there's risk for me. I'm not willing to risk it to trade down. I'm taking either Neighbors, Odunze, or Joe Alt if all the QBs are gone at number 6. But I totally see what you're saying, LTD. And you know, we were first on Rattler. We were first. Sumner coming with a $10 super chat. My man, what's up, Brody? I know there is still a lot of work to do this offseason, but what would you need to see once game starts to consider as a successful season based on our expectations so far? A successful season for me for the New York Giants, and this is a great question, by the way. I think it would be in the final 4 weeks of the season, the Giants are in the mix for the playoffs. Like, you're playing for something in December. You're playing for something in January. And I'm not talking moving up the draft board. If you are playing meaningful games in the month of December and the month of January, I would deem that a successful season. Are you competitive in the NFC East? Or are you getting steamrolled by Dallas again and dominated by Philly outside of Week 18? Meaningful football games in the last 3 to 4 weeks of the season, I would consider that a successful season. But then if you trade for a quarterback and that quarterback shows life that he's going to be that guy, I would also consider that a successful season. So multiple ways, but at the end of the day, Sumner, end of the year, Giants are playing meaningful football games. That's where I'm at on that. The NFL draft is right around the corner. And the Giants, they own the number 6 pick. Who do you want the Giants to pick at number 6 overall? I want everyone to drop a name for me down in the comments section right now. Razor Shockwave, what up, man? Thanks for supporting the channel. So Marsh, still here. Real one. Get JJ at 6 and get a wide receiver in free agency or Xavier Leggett round 2. The only thing about the receiver market in free agency now is there's not that many guys left. Like, Higgins is not going to go there. Mike Evans already signed. Pittman's going to be franchise tagged by the Colts. You guys know I love Calvin Ridley. But I think Ridley's stock and price just went up as he's now wide receiver 1 in free agency. I like Darnell Mooney. I'm not paying him a lot of money. I'm not really in on Odell anymore. If you draft JJ at 6, you got to surround him with a lot of talent. So I like your line of thinking. And Xavier Leggett, man, when I watch that Spencer Rattler tape, all I can see is Leggett making plays here. He's there. He's everywhere. I think he came in at 6'2", 230, ran a 4.4. The dude looked like baby DK Metcalf out there. I am a big fan of Xavier Leggett, and I would not be mad at all if the New York Giants select him in round 2. You get JJ, you get Leggett, and let's say you get an offensive lineman, and you add a free agent receiver. I can mess around with that. Wouldn't love JJ at 6, but you know what? It might just happen. Rosenberg, Nolasco, what up, man? If we sign Barkley by matching his free agency price, do you think we will tag X? Well, by the time you are watching this on this channel, we will have a decision on if Saquon Barkley or Xavier McKinney have been franchise tagged. At the time of recording, it is Monday, March 4th. The franchise tag deadline is March 5th. So when you guys see this video later on in the week, you will have an answer to this. But I do think there is a world where the Giants could bring back Barkley and Xavier McKinney. I just don't know how likely that is. I think it is going to be one of the two. More questions coming up around the corner from some real ones. But first, I got to let you guys in on some news about our proud sponsor, 8 Sleep. Shout out to 8 Sleep for sponsoring today's show. The high-tech solution to your age-old sleeping issues is 8 Sleep. 8 Sleep's Pod 3 cover slips right over your mattress, bringing heating and cooling tech that keeps you comfortable and sleeping deeper for a better, more restful night. I love 8 Sleep because it totally stopped my night sweats. I'm a guy that sweats at night. I get hot easy. I need the fan on even when it's 5 degrees outside. Thanks to 8 Sleep, I don't wake up sweating and get a better night's sleep. The pod cover will improve your sleep by automatically adjusting your bed's temperature based on your individual needs. The cover can be added to any bed like a fitted sheet and allows you and your partner to cool or warm your side of the bed as low as 55 degrees and up to 110 degrees. Go to 8sleep.com/chatsports and get $200 off plus free shipping on the pod cover by 8 Sleep. Invest in the rest you deserve with the 8 Sleep pod. Shout to them for sponsoring today's video. All of that and more will be clickable down in the comments and description of today's show. Jay Sports Card, what up, man? Says, do you think Wes Steinberg is trolling saying we trading up? Yes. Wes Steinberg, this channel has almost 45,000 subscribers. And I want to share this message to everyone. Wes Steinberg on Twitter is a troll account. He is not a credible reporter. We can move on. Gilly, I want to see a minimum of 4 new offensive linemen between free agency and the draft. If not, I'm fighting someone. If you're fighting Seeps, I'm in on that. But I agree, Gilly. Like, it's offseason 3. And problem number 1, when Joe Schoen took over an offseason number 1, is still the biggest problem that haunts this football team. And that is the lack of quality offensive linemen. Whether it be 2 in free agency, 2 in the draft, 3 in free agency, 1 in the draft, I 100% agree with you, Gilly. The offensive line needs to be a priority. Joe Schoen, it's time. If you can fix the problem, fix it. If you can't, move out of the way and let someone else fix this offensive line. Maybe with the new O-line coach at Carmen Russillo, we'll see some more growth out of some young guys. Steven Belinas, what up, man? Say we sign or draft a new right tackle. Do we keep Evan Neal or do we look at getting rid of him and bringing back Tyree Phillips, who I thought played pretty well? You're not getting rid of Evan Neal. Like, you're not going to cut him. He's going to stay on this team for a couple more seasons. This will be year 3. He's at minimum on this team next year, this year, and next year. Maybe you don't pick up his 5th-year option, and he's a free agent after year 4. I would be interested in bringing a guy like Tyree Phillips back. I thought he played good, like you're talking about, Steven. But yeah, Evan Neal's going to be on this team for at minimum the next 2 years. Maybe you cut him after this year if it's just a total train wreck, but I don't think that is all that likely. What do you think is the Giants' number 1 need in free agency? Is it right tackle? Is it guard? Is it receiver? Is it edge rusher? I want to hear from you guys down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. JLD4, what's up, man? What do you think of drafting a guy like Bucky Irving or Jalen Wright? I would be fine with that. I think if you're going to let Saquon Barkley go in NFL free agency, you're going to have to address the running back position in the draft. I was a big fan of Benson, and then he blew up at the combine, and I'm not sure he's going to be there in round 3 anymore. Maybe a round 2 guy. So I'd be cool with either of those guys. I thought Jalen Wright had a pretty good weekend. He looked really explosive. I thought he looked good. I would look towards the NFL draft over NFL free agency to replace Saquon Barkley if he does leave. If you re-sign Barkley, I don't think you're drafting a running back high unless it's like a 1-year deal. Anything can happen. Justin, what do you think the top 3 players in free agency are that the Giants can scoop up? Number 1 is Danielle Hunter. I have heard Danielle Hunter as number 1 on the Giants free agency big board. I've also heard Michael Onwenu is really high on their board. But it sounds like Onwenu is a guy that is going to want to be re-signed by the New England Patriots, and they have a lot of cap space to get it done, so they can do that. If I had to have a third, I'm looking at a guy like Robert Hunt, maybe the right guard for the Miami Dolphins. We've heard Jonah Jackson is a name that they're interested in as well. I just think there's bigger fish out there to fry than Jonah Jackson. A sleeper that I've been a fan of, Connor Williams, the center for the Miami Dolphins. I know he's coming off a torn ACL, but he played guard for the Dallas Cowboys prior to signing with the Dolphins, And I think he can come in and play guard here. And he's one of the best in the league. So I look at that. Don't love that he's coming off a torn ACL, though. Let Breadman cook. Love that. Do you trade up and get a QB, Daniels or May? Or do you stay and trade back for J.J. McCarthy? Or do you get an offensive tackle, alt preferably not Olu, or go wide receiver? My big board. Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Neighbors, Joe Alt, Roma Dunze. Those are my top 7. And in that order is in the order that I would like to draft them in. This is what I would say, because Joe Schoen has watched more tape than me. If Joe Schoen has identified that any of these QBs in this class are franchise QBs, you do whatever it takes to go get them. Because in this league, until you have a franchise quarterback, it does not matter. I'm Neighbors over Odunze. I'm Alt as OT tackle 1. JJ is my QB 4, and I'm May over Daniels. So I hope that kind of puts an answer to your question. Mark Estrada. I would prefer staying at 6 and getting all, or trade back for OT at 8. Use the extra capital to package into a late spot for an edge or a cornerback. I don't hate that. So trade down to 8. So you're trading back 2 spots for a 3rd or 4th round pick? I don't hate that. I would just rather stick and pick, though. Stick and pick. Pokemore, what up, man? What are your thoughts on trading a 3rd round pick for Fields, then trading back in the 1st round and grabbing Xavier Worthy after his combine? I can see him as the next, plus that means 2 firsts next year. I'm kind of good on Justin Fields. I'm good on that. I would rather get my own quarterback with a new QB clock and a new QB contract. And for Xavier Worthy, he blew up because of the 40-yard dash. But I don't necessarily think that should change a lot for his draft stock. It will, because that's just the way this life works. But, how many small receivers are you going to have that are undersized? You have Wan'Dale Robinson. You have Jalen Hyatt. So I'm looking at a guy potentially in round 2 like Leggett, or a guy like A.D. Mitchell. In round 1, you could just go Malik Neighbors because he's going to be a stud. He's a little smaller, but I think he plays with some juice. I'm probably good on this. But I will say, Pokemore, if I am trading at a 6, I do want a future 1st-round pick going forward. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Free, informative, entertaining content. We're going to be live for NFL free agency on Monday. So subscribe and turn your notifications on. And let's go Big Blue.